What are your BYU football bye weekend plans? I know what assistant coach Tim LaComb is doing. He's watching basketball, and he's also joining us on BYU Sports Nation once again. Friend of the program. Good to have you back, Tim.
Good to be here with you guys. It's
okay,
great.
We have this great debate going about Christmas music. Okay?
Yeah.
When is it okay to start listening to Christmas music? You've taken one side, said after Thanksgiving. Tyler Haas says it's never too early. Kate listens to Christmas music year-round.
Definitely.
Wow.
We can still be friends, though.
We can be friends.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I
just am. I don't know why. I just put up a little barrier on Christmas music. I think there's so much good music. I'm a big rock guy, so I listen to rock a lot, and that's year-round for me. But Christmas has to come after Thanksgiving.
Are you like AC/DC, Guns N' Roses? Or
Oh yeah, like 80s hair metal.
Oh,
Yeah.
You were one of those.
I was one of those.
Front row.
That's right. I still am, actually, when they come to town. They're older, I'm older, but we're still rocking.
The big hair band guy.
Absolutely. That's my deal.
We like that.
Thank you.
Kate, you want to talk some trash about why Christmas music is a year-round thing?
I mean, they were prepping me for this because they say you're really witty, so I'm really nervous because you're on your game. But I just need I'll say it once and for all. Mariah Carey is just too good to only give her a month.
But my point is, I think you can get Mariah Carey in a different genre and be just fine. I think it's unfair to Halloween. It's unfair to Thanksgiving, and they have feelings too. And if we're going to personalize holidays, I think we should give them their due credence.
I think that's valid, but like Monster Mash can only be played so many times.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. But
maybe if I don't know, maybe if the Rat Pack came out with like a Halloween album, like
See,
let's chat then.
the problem with social media is I put a witty thing out there for Ty, and it becomes fodder for the whole Cougar Nation, right?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, he sent it to you and I yesterday when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Fine.
I got hit from a lot of different places. There are a lot of people that feel like you do, Kate.
You know, I just
More
say it all the
people that
time.
feel like I do.
You just got to forget the haters, you know?
Yeah. Do your thing. I mean, it's kind of like you're in the Olympics and you feel like dancing. You just dance.
Yeah,
you know?
right?
Right.
Self-expression.
Right.
Hashtag self-expression.
BYU basketball assistant coach Tim LaComb and guest host Kate Hansen on BYU Sports Nation. Okay, now that we've at least talked about the great Christmas music debate, let's talk about basketball.
All right.
Great news yesterday. Kyle Collinsworth cleared to play and go full speed. How much is he going to play tomorrow night against Seattle Pacific in an exhibition scenario?
I think the main thing we want to do is get him out there. We want to give him an opportunity to run up and down. It's one thing, he's been in practice, he's been able to practice, and he's been able to go for entire practices. But once you get out there in front of a crowd and, your wind goes a little quicker, just trying to get him a good feel for, I don't know exactly the parameters on what his minutes will be.
Yeah.
But to be able to get him in a game prior to getting to Long Beach State next week will really, really important. So we're gonna give him a good share of minutes and see how he goes. And obviously, this whole deal has been kind of on the doctors and Kyle's time frame, and we've been really flexible about working with it. And to have him back this early and to have him back this effective already is really, really great. So we'll stay with what we've been doing.
Kate and I have been talking about this fine line because she's gone through some pretty significant injuries in her athletic career, and now Kyle goes through an ACL, and it has only been 8 months. So you walk this delicate line of, well, how much can we really expect from him after such a significant injury? What's the mentality of Kyle right now as he deals with how much he can really push?
His mentality from the very beginning has been one of just perseverance and resolve. Right after a surgery, our staff went over to the house to see him. And, it was kind of right then that he was like, I set a goal. I'm going to be back for the first game. I'm going to do whatever it takes. He's really kind of taken on like a real fanatical nutrition plan and a weight room. He's been in the weight room nonstop. And those two things, and then flexibility and all that stuff has really helped his confidence. And so his mindset is no different right now than it was right after he got hurt. And that is, hey, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back all the way. He has had 0 hiccups or setbacks. Do you have any wood I can for Micah? Kind of superstitious. I would knock on my own head, but anyway, he's doing really, really well. His confidence is the key, and his confidence is really good in the knee, and his abilities and his teammates see that, and I think they help bolster his confidence too.
Confidence, mental.
That's right.
It's
huge.
mental
We
than
talked about the
yeah.
mental aspect.
It's big.
It's all of it. It's 90% of it for sure.
I still he'll fly in, he'll get a steal and go down in practice and go up, and there's some guy will kind of be running to maybe contest it, and I want to get out there and like blow the whistle and stop it, because I'm still a little bit leery right now of something, but he's like, from the time he started playing, he's just been all out, and if he's full go. He got that final kind of word yesterday, so let's go, man. He's a huge part of why we've been good, and we need him to be really good this year.
I'm gonna be honest. This is the most excited I've been to watch an exhibition college basketball game because of the Kyle Collinsworth factor.
Well, the other thing I think our fans need to know is this team we're playing is a real team. This Seattle Pacific team is really, really good. You're talking about a team that's been 10 consecutive times to the tournament, Division II tournament, which is more than any other Division II team.
Really? 10? Wow.
Yeah, 10 straight times. 2 years ago, they beat Arizona in the McHale Center. This team is a real team. They've averaged about 27 wins a year over the last 6 years. Coach does a great job. They've got a nephew of John Stockton, David Stockton's cousins, on this team, who's a senior leader. It's a really good team. So not only is it exciting from the vantage point of Kyle playing and seeing our guys, but this is a good team we're playing.
Okay, so this is the test that you can almost kind of hope for as you get ready for Long Beach State in a real contest a week from today.
Right. Yeah. You can frame these exhibitions however you want, but this year we've been really fortunate because we played Colorado School of Mines, and everybody was asking me if they're going to have to play in their helmets with a light on, but they're a good team, and they've won, in the last 5 years, they've won about 23, 24 games a year. So these two teams will really give us kind of a nice challenge, leading into a really good Long Beach State team that's going to come in here with, just like everybody else, with a game plan and try to beat us here at the Marriott Center. So these two games will really help our guys to get their minds right and to understand what it's going to take to win games.
So then coming into this game, because I know last game you were kind of getting your bench off and like getting everyone playing time. Do you have the same mindset coming into this next game, or are you going to try and like lay down your plays and try and win? Or
no, for sure. We always want to win. That's the first thing we try to do. I think Coach's approach has always been to, early in the season, our bench is a little bit longer than,
sure.
And as the season goes on, we kind of taper it down. But I think with this game tomorrow, we'll still get young guys opportunities, but we want to win the game. So with Kyle being able to play, and with Ty and Ants and all the guys who have experience, but then we got young guys that need to get in there and play too. Corbin Kafusi hopefully will be able to play some tomorrow, which will be great for the fans to see and great for Corbin to run around. And so there'll be minutes for young guys, but in the end, we want to win the game.
I know Nate Austin's been hampered with some back problems as well. Is he going to play tomorrow?
I don't know that Nate will play tomorrow. He's actually been he's been doing some things in practice, so he's not been completely out.
Okay.
But I think he'll probably. I haven't heard the final word, but I wouldn't expect Nate to play.
You can tell Nate that we are proudly still repping his huge shoe on the front of our set.
That's awesome.
And I'm not going to get anywhere near it with my nose.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what Nate dressed up for Halloween, speaking of holidays?
What?
He's big on Halloween, isn't he?
Yeah, last year he was Ronald McDonald. It was the scariest Ronald McDonald I've ever seen. He topped it this year. He was a 6'11" Santa Claus. And he walked in with the bells and the whole deal. It was not a fun sight.
He's not afraid to celebrate Christmas early, right?
Yeah, he doesn't mess around.
Right.
Yeah.
Christmas music's. Yeah, I can see that with Nate Austin, though. That's not a surprise.
Yeah, he's fun.
You and I talked about this after the BYU basketball tip-off. When it comes to coordinators, like with football, there's like the defense coordinator and the offense coordinator and the quarterback's coach. With basketball, those roles aren't so technically defined. On this BYU basketball coaching staff, who is the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator and the specialists?
So Coach obviously runs the whole program and oversees everything and has got final right of refusal, for whatever we put in or whatever we work on. So Coach is obviously over it all. Terry's emphasis is kind of the offensive side, and Mark's kind of heads up the defensive side, and I kind of jump around, help. I kind of specialize. So when we play someone, I'm kind of working on personnel. So Mark will work on kind of schemes and X's and O's for what we're seeing, and I'll spend a ton of time watching personnel and watching what does a guy do really, really well that, to give our guys a heads up. These are the things we got to take away. So in tandem, we kind of put the game plan together, offensive, defense, personnel. And then my kind of area that I'm kind of in charge of is recruiting. So between all of it, it's one big happy family, and we're all working together, but we've all got kind of areas that we work on.
How much game tape do you watch on an annual basis?
It's so crazy. In fact, my wife the other night, my place, I've got in the living room, I've got an ottoman, and I have some kind of game on TV that I'm hardly watching. I'm, working on my computer on the film. And so I walked down the other night to start working on Seattle Pacific, and she's like, man, it's the season again, because you're right back on that thing. I couldn't tell you, but it's a lot. We all watch a lot of tape, and we love it. That's why we do it.
Do you kiss your wife goodbye in like September and say, hey, I'll check back in like April?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, I always say, it's like going down in the cave. This time of year, we're around, but we're not really around. So we wouldn't choose to do anything else. It's what we love to do, but it's busy. There's a lot going on.
Kate knows a thing or two about that. You mentioned the 5-year companion. Listen to this, okay? So her Olympic luge team, she compared it to like a 5-year mission. You're stuck with the same people for 5 years.
Yeah. Well, that was being modest. Actually, I started when I was 10, so it's actually been 10 years, but it's a lot of time. So I bet it's the same with your basketball team. I mean, they train. They don't all live together, but.
No, but we are together a lot.
Yeah.
We do get little breaks.
It's a
here
family.
And there.
Sometimes you want to punch them in the face, but sometimes you just want to give them a hug.
Right. And it's not always, it's not always fun and roses and all that, but at the end of the day, when you win or when you have success, it's the best.
Who has been the biggest surprise for you in terms of the newcomers? I know they're the very talented freshman class. You're playing with, 17 guys. Who's been the surprise player where you're like, wow, they showed up and they were ready to go?
I think all our guys, all the new guys really bought in. We have a really great strength and conditioning coach in Bob Medina, and they all came to start working with him, as soon as they could. These young guys really kind of changed their bodies, and I'd probably say, Ryan Andrus, Dalton Nixon, and Jake Toulson came in, and they're boys. They're coming in. They're young guys. They're trying to come in, and this is a high level men's game when you get right to the nuts and bolts. And these guys have done really, really good, acclimating their bodies and getting ready to go. Another guy who's been really, really good, I think getting home last year for Isaac Nielsen in January and practicing with us for a couple months was huge. And Isaac's been really solid.
That dude can shoot it, man.
Yeah, he's been really good. He had 10 rebounds the other night. The understanding and feel for the game's really improved over the last few months. And I'm excited. Corbin's a guy who athletically blows my mind on a daily basis. He does something. I never blocked a shot with my elbow. He does it. He does it all the time.
How would it be?
Yeah, it'd be awesome, wouldn't it? So I'm just excited generally about the group itself. I think Coach Rose's programs, the teams have always been the strength, and I think that's where we are this year. I love the ball movement. I love the unselfishness. I love our tenacity and competitiveness. So it should be a fun year.
BYU Assistant Basketball Coach Tim LaComb on BYU Sports Nation. You can see him in action on the sideline. Do you have an action pose? Yeah. The finger to the mouth.
You know what I'm really trying to do this year? I'm really trying to cut the referees some slack. That's my goal. So if anybody sees me getting a little too out of hand with that, let me know. But
good luck with that, man. That's like the impossible task as a coach.
Yeah. I admire you for that goal.
Thank you.
That's an honest goal.
No, it is.
Wow.
It's
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. I mean, I need to do a better job at that, so that's my goal.
You're a saint.
Hey, Kate, I'm far from that. You can tell you just met me today.
I've never heard a coach. Wow. I'm impressed. That's unreal.
Thank you.
You
don't have officials you got to yell at, right? You just do
we got
your
a
thing.
few. Well, we got coaches.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of.
But there's no official that's messing up the ice for you on your way down or anything.
Well, no, not quite like that. But there's people that will mess with your equipment, and then in that case, you gotta give them a few words.
I like it.
Usually, you just stick to
the
yourself.
Competitive nature is fantastic.
Yeah.
It is cool. I love it.
Well, you have the best style of the coaching staff. I'll give you that, Coach.
Thank you.
So
That's
I'll look
nice.
for the action pose.
Okay.
Finger to the mouth, and going easy on the referees. And it's always great to have you on BYU Sports Nation.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate being with y'all.